Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to What the
Errors.
Distance.
I looked for
Oh, I got a video in here that's running in
those
the
were the papers that I
background.
got very high scores on.
Yeah, sure.
Enough time.
Well, I've done that more than once this term. Okay, all right, now we're on a roll. Um, so, yesterday we looked at some examples of what a good thesis statement is in comparison to a not so good thesis statement. Um, you're going to have to get an idea on of this or for this on how to write a thesis statement because key question number 20 is asks you to write an essay and you may be unfamiliar with having to write one of those because it's been a while since you've been to regular day school, and it's not something that we do every day is write essays. And so you may have forgotten a lot of what is required to write one. So I'll try to go through as much of that as I can today. Um, we'll start off with this little video on uh, thesis statements right here. Just a short video.
Picture this. You're going to an exciting but new place. What do you need? A list of stops to make along the way? A map to show you how to get to the final destination would help, right? In a lot of ways, planning a piece of writing is like planning a trip. To make the most of it, you have to know where you're going. Let's think of a piece of writing, an essay for example, like the journey you take to a destination. Just like you plan for the trip's direction, for an essay, you'll plan how you, as the writer, will use information guided by a sound claim and subtopics to get you there. You want to communicate your points and have your audience understand your argument. The name for the part of an essay with your claim and subtopics is called a thesis statement. Remember that list of stops that guide you to your destination? A thesis statement does the same thing in an essay. Typically, at the end of the essay's introduction, the thesis statement outlines the writer's position on a topic or the claim and the claim's main supporting points, called subtopics, that structure the essay. A thesis statement is useful for both the writer and the writer's audience. If a friend asks you, "What are your best tips for a successful road trip?" you might answer, "A successful road trip depends on a clear plan." Cool! Now your essay has a claim. But what else do you need? Imagine that your friend asks you, "How can a clear plan help make a road trip successful?" To break that claim down into points that expand on your positions, you need subtopics. Subtopics support the point you're arguing or showing. They add credibility to a piece of writing. You could support the claim, "A successful road trip depends on a clear plan." With the subtopics, you can plan for entertaining stops, have a timeline in mind, and be prepared for obstacles. Now that you have subtopics to expand on and support your claim, you'll connect them to form your thesis statement. Let's put the pieces together. A successful road trip depends on a clear plan because you can plan for entertaining stops, have a timeline in mind, and be prepared for obstacles along the way. For one sentence, a thesis statement is powerful, but it's not the end. Just as having a map to your destination is just a start, there will be more pieces in the writing process to help you along your way. Your thesis statement gets you pointed in the right direction.
Well, I hope that fun little animation helps clear up the whole idea about a thesis. Now we're going to have a look at figuring out what we're going to write about, and that is called the topics. Key question 20 on page 37. Choose one of the following topics covered in this course so far and write a 5-paragraph essay. Make sure to choose a topic stance and title for your essay. Ensure that your thesis is clearly defined. Submit essay planner and self-assessment along with your final copy of the 5 paragraph essay. Make sure you cite your sources, and so those are any sources that you borrowed from, something that someone else has written. You need to let us know that you got that from someone else. So, here are the topics that you can choose from, beginning at the bottom of page 37. Number one, research the issue of funding equity for federally funded First Nations schools. So it says research. That means you'll probably have to go on the internet and you can simply do a Google search for something like funding equity for federally funded First Nations schools. You might want to throw Canada in there as well so we won't get links for Australia or the United States. So we will be narrowing our search to our country. You could even narrow it down even more by putting Ontario in there if you just wanted to focus on Ontario. All right, so you can gather information for this from sources such as the Assembly of First Nations website, the Chiefs of Ontario, and the Federal Government of Canada. So these are good, reliable sites, right? So, sorry. Yeah, my throat is drying all up here terribly today. We don't have our mister going. Um, yeah, so when we're picking or looking for resources to support our thesis in an essay, we look for the most authentic, truthful sources, right? So that's why we point out that these would be good places to begin looking. Um, we would prefer to take a site like this rather than some personal site of someone like a Facebook post or something like that. we want to get we want some credibility in the sources that we use whenever we're writing an essay. The second possible topic area is research an ongoing um, treaty lands rights case in Ontario. And there's literally tons of those, right? We looked at a number of those in in the course. I tried to show you a number of different news items on different lands rights cases that went right to the Supreme Court. In your written analysis, include the following: A, the historic basis of the case; B, the specific issues of the case; C, the position of the federal and or provincial government; a way in which you think the case could be settled fairly. Okay. Um, Now, topic possibility number 3. There are 4 common beliefs that Aboriginal peoples traditionally share. These include everything in the world, both living and non-living, is connected. So that's that great web of life. Um, Unseen. The second one is the unseen spiritual powers exist and affect all things. The third one is everything in the world constantly changes in recurring cycles, and humans need to be in harmony with each other and with nature. So these were traditional or seen as traditional common beliefs that were shared by Aboriginal peoples. So, how do these values influence our present day activities and behavior? How does the Aboriginal worldview influence environmental issues today? Be sure to discuss each of these four common beliefs. So, yes, if you are going to pick this one, you just don't pick one of these that I am highlighting here on the screen. You need to address each one of those. Number four, research the current fur trade in Canada. How does lobbying from animal rights groups and organizations, such as the European Commission, affect practices such as seal hunting? Do you think Aboriginal people should continue to sell products from what they harvest from the water and the land? Include your views as well. Okay, so this one is, to me, this might be the most complicated one of all of the options here. Um, uh, a lot of what went on with the anti-fur lobby happened a number of years ago, and I'm not sure if it's still like a big thing there. Like a lot of celebrities kind of jumped in behind the anti-fur, or jumped in with the anti-fur lobby. And I can remember when it happened. I mean, there used to be lots of fur trader people trapping in our area, and now I don't know too many people, even up in the north, that do it as a way of substance, um, as a way of making a living, because it's really hard to sell the furs. People may now just use the furs there for making, let's say, their own moccasins, or moccasins that they sell at trade shows or whatever. But the furs itself, there doesn't seem to be much of an industry out there anymore. Um, yeah, so you might, yeah, these are all research, so you could find out more information on this on the internet. Number five, describe how aspirations of Aboriginal peoples have been a driving force in pressing for recognition in their negotiations with governments and institutions. So, for instance, during the relocation of the Innu people at Davis Inlet, when the Lubicon Cree asserted Aboriginal title in their land issue in Alberta, um, uh, that led to the reparation of sacred objects from the museum. Okay, so below that we have the essay planner. Um, the first item here is use reliable sources to gather information on your subject. You can make notes and comments there. The date that section is completed, that's the research part of your essay. You need to find those reliable sources. Um, write an issue statement using the model of building your skills, um, analyzing issues. That's on page 27. Sorry, 297. And let's see. We'll go to take a quick look at that for you. Yeah. Oh, they want me to sign back in. Just bear with me. And here we go. Open this up. Page 297 will be near the end of this document. There we go. Is this it? Analyzing issues. What's your opinion? What do you think about this? Where do you stand on this issue? Every day we are asked to you are asked to give your response to ideas and issues. Sometimes you respond by giving information. Other times you simply state your opinion. Use this building your skills feature to practice analyzing an issue and formulating a response. Suppose your class is discussing the subject of how much time young people should spend online. You might come up with a statement that expresses one way of looking at the issue, such as, young people spend too much time online. They are isolating themselves instead of participating in their communities. Or, by sharing information online, young people are creating communities and becoming globally connected. So they're two sides of the same coin, right? There's a positive statement and a somewhat negative statement. So you can brainstorm this issue and use an issue chart to record the responses. On the chart, note comments that agree with the issue statement under yes, those that disagree under no, and those that are undecided, mixed, or questioning under maybe so. So you can see how this is this table chart helps sort out the questions and opinions that we make when we are involved in academic writing or writing an essay, trying to, figure out how we're going to, what angle we're going to take when we write an essay. So here's a table that can help you do that. So under yes, so the issue is young people spend too much time online. Under yes, we put spending hours online isolates people, and notice that there's places there for you to put other supporting thoughts that would say, yes, young people spend too much time online. Way over on the right here, we have another column that says no. So no, young people don't spend too much time online. And you could simply put here, no, by going online, young people are creating communities and becoming globally connected. Okay, so they're actually not spending too much time, they're spending just the right amount of time, right? And then you can come up with ideas on why it is better that young people spend at least as much time as they can online right now, or maybe more, right? So it's two sides of the coin, right? We have the positive and the negative. You can you can take either side as long as you have enough pieces of information to fill in these different boxes here. You need your support to support your opinion. That supports your opinion. Or some people call it your argument when you're writing an essay. And then to apply your skills, now decide on an issue that you've read about related to this chapter or the course and express the issue as a statement. For example, issue statement: is it possible for Canada to address the historic injustices of the residential school program or system. In a group or as a class, brainstorm about the issue and record the different responses in the appropriate sections of the issue chart. Read over the responses in each section of the chart discuss as the class discuss which section contains the strongest arguments so far. Then discuss how someone could conduct research to find support from several sources of information. All right. So that's what would go here in this notes and comment section, right? Write an issue statement. So this is building your thesis, right? Your issue statement is basically your thesis. Next row, conduct further research to gather facts and opinions about the issue and write them on a chart like the one we just looked at on page 297. Next row, consider the various viewpoints presented and develop a thesis statement for an essay that clearly states your opinion on the issue. Okay, so the last video that we looked at really is great because it shows that what your thesis statement actually does. I mean, it acts as a roadmap on what you are going to, what your opinion is, and plus also what subtopics are that you're going to use to support your opinion. Create an outline for a 5-paragraph essay on this issue. So we're with the outline, we're following what's called the writer's process, right? And so we haven't really looked at that in this course. We do in grade 11 and 12 English courses, and we haven't had an essay, but you still need to, if you're going to write an essay in whatever course, you still have to follow the writer's process. And that is creating an outline, and then write a draft of your essay and either submit it to your teacher or show it to a partner for feedback. And we continue on with the writer's process with what we call revision, right? So the draft, we get someone else to look at it. Your teacher is a good option here because they can really pinpoint anything that needs to be fixed. Or you can have a partner or a peer do it as well. But excuse me. But they really need to do it honestly and give you good advice, right? Because the next stage after you do your editing and revision is to write your final draft. So with your final draft, you hope that it is as perfect as you can get it, right? So first you look at your rough draft and maybe you take out sentences or you put in new sentences or you move the sentences around. You might even move a sentence from one paragraph into another paragraph. You also make sure that anything that you've taken from someone else is cited with what they call in-text citations and a works cited list. I'll show you those in a second. Based on the feedback, write a final draft of your essay. And as you're doing that, you can start looking at the grammar in your essay, your spelling, right? This is the editing So the revision part is changing the structure of your sentences, moving your sentences around, and then you have to look at the grammar then and make sure your spelling is correct. And if you have a word processor, that's very helpful because they do have grammar and spelling check in them. Based on the feedback, you write your final draft and you submit it to your teacher. So the optimum way would be for you to send your rough copy into your teacher, let them have a look at it to make suggestions, and then you can um, submit it. Okay, so there's a nice table here, table on page 40 that lays out how to write a 5-paragraph essay. It's called 5-paragraph essay graphic organizer. Up there you have your topic, right? So your topic, of course, is the idea that you are going to discuss in your essay, and then your introductory paragraph, which will include your thesis statement and your body paragraph ideas, right? So you're introducing these body paragraph ideas to the in the introductory paragraph, okay? And then you will write your body paragraphs, and hopefully you can connect them all together by transitions, right? So you might let's say this is one of your subtopics here. You might say, first of all, boom, right? And then in the second paragraph you say, second, comma, and then you explain your second subtopic, which supports your thesis statement, and then third, right? You would say, write your topic sentence for your third body paragraph. And then, of course, there's the conclusion that follows, the concluding paragraph. So, following that, we have a self-assessment on page 41. Now, self-assessments are important. They demonstrate a certain type of learning that we don't often get to really discuss or involve in our classes. And so the self-assessment is a type of learning that's really important in how we are able to make things meaningful for us as far as, when we participate in something called metacognition, that means reflecting upon how we're thinking and how we're learning. That helps us in the future when we run into similar or unsimilar circumstances. We can sit back and think, well, this is how I did it before. This worked for me before, right? This is this self-reflection, and this is why we do self-assessments. So, when you look back or look at your essay before you hand it in, you look at this first topic here. Your introduction paragraph includes a relevant topic sentence, an indication of the major themes of each body paragraph, specific and specialized vocabulary on your topic, no errors in spelling or grammar. Right? So you can do an assessment after you look at and think about whether your essay contains all of these different criteria. It doesn't stop there. Next, we have your body paragraphs. So that's your introduction paragraph. Your body paragraphs each include a relevant topic sentence and a transitional sentence. Specific facts that support your topic sentence, quotations and citations, insightful commentary that relates to the thesis statement, specific and specialized vocabulary on your topic, no errors in spelling or grammar, with a fluent expression. Your conclusion includes a concise summarization of the points you made, a powerful statement, thought-provoking question, or clearly stated position or judgment on the topic, specific and specialized vocabulary on your topic, and no errors in spelling or grammar. And then finally, your bibliography. It includes a range of information sources, accurate, reliable, and relevant sources, sources cited consistently and objectively. Okay, so you can rate yourself 1, 2, 3, or 4, of course. And so 4 exceeds expectations. That's if you do a really good job. 1 is if it wasn't so good. Not yet within the expectations. That means you're really missing something. And then 2 or 3, 2 is minimally meets the expectations. 3 fully meets the expectations. Right? So 4 is when everything is perfect. All right, so the one thing we haven't really looked at here is your bibliography. What's a bibliography? Well, I mean, people haven't really, we haven't looked at a bibliography all this course. And so what I'm going to do right now is just show you quickly here where to get the information on that. Okay? There's a website called OWL Purdue. Right? And OWL Purdue is right here. Just going to click on that. So this is at Purdue University. But there's a certain way, there's certain standards or rules that we need to use when we are writing academic papers, okay? This is very, very important. Now there's different sets of rules. Look at right over here on this little menu over here that keeps flashing. There's an MLA guide, an APA guide, a Chicago guide. There's other guides too. These kind of, they're different depending on what type of course you are taking. Well, we're going to use the MLA guide here, and I'll click on that. And this will give us a breakdown on how to cite sources, right? And what an in-text citation looks like, and also what a references section of your essay looks like. Some people call it works cited. Okay, so now, I click on MLA formatting and style guide here, and we get this drop-down menu here with lots of interesting items here. All right, so I'm going to show you a sample paper. I think that's the best that we can do for right now, right? And all right, I want to bring this up in size. Let's download this thing. Okay. All right, and it'll be easier for us to see it. And I'll go over it and show you what it looks like. I'm going to save that on the desktop. Yeah. Okay, save. And then we'll go to my desktop and we'll open it up. Where? Oh, there it is right there. Oh, it looks like I already had a copy of it there. Okay. All right. So, so this is what an academic essay looks like. Now, we won't have to go to this level here, but for you, this is where you see right up here. This is where you're going to include your name, your teacher's name. So don't put professor there. It's just my name, Doug LeConte, the course code, NBV3E, and the date that you're submitting it, right? Okay, so this would be your first paragraph right here, like that, right? You can indent it like that just by using a tab. Um, okay. In our case, we don't have to worry about putting our name and the page numbers up here. But if you are able to figure out how to put page numbers in, it would be great. I'm not going to mark you on that for now. Um, then, okay, so I want to show you right now how to do an in-text citation. Okay, all right, here we are right here. I have this selected here, like this. Okay, so this in quotations right here, quotation, devoted to agriculture and to be independent of the university. Okay, so it's a quotation that's been added into a sentence that has been written by the student. All right, so when you grab a quotation, so that's the direct use of someone else's words, then you need to put quotation marks around it. And you also have to, right there, notice that, okay, so in parentheses, what we have here is the author of the article, Dan Hoff in this case, and page 71. Notice there's no page there, it's just 71, right? So this is where this student got this piece of text from. This is very important, okay? You need to identify where you get your information from. Otherwise, it's a thing called plagiarism, which is very serious in academic circles, right? You can lose, you can lose all your marks on an essay from that. But we don't want that to happen. So we'll, if you send in your rough and I notice that you don't have that properly done, I'll point it out to you so you can fix it, okay? Another time that you're going to use quotations, in-text citations, is when we do something called a paraphrase. A paraphrase is just like, well, if you can remember back when you might have taken grade 10 English or you probably learned it in many different courses, say, where you did summaries for newspaper articles or anything like that, right? So you read a couple paragraphs of something and then you summarize it in your own words, right? You can kind of condense it into your own words. Well, that's paraphrasing. Now, the reason you can't just kind of put it there as your own words is that you got the ideas from someone else, right? If it's public knowledge, then you don't have to paraphrase it. But if you got the ideas from someone else, but you rewrote it uh, into uh, your own words, then that's paraphrasing, and you still have to respect the author. And that's what this example right here is. Um, these objects were a response to farmers' needs at the time, mainly to help for experiments, printed distribution of new farming knowledge and education. Isaac Newton, the first Commissioner of Agriculture, ensured these objectives would be realized by stressing research and education with the ultimate goal of helping farmers improve their operations. And it says Hurt 190. Okay, so that is the author, once again, and the actual um, page number. All right, so we're not finished yet, almost, right? So I'm skimming down to what's called. Sorry, I'm gonna have a little drink here. I got a bit of a. It gets really dry in here, and we don't have our mister going. Okay, finally, we'll finish up with this today. This is what references or works cited is referring to. All right, so this is all the important information that we need to collect when we are gathering quotes or paraphrases from outside sources. Right? So Allen, that's the author's name. And these are done in alphabetical order. Okay, see we have Allen, Baker, Danhoff, Demari, Drown. If we don't have the author's name, we just use the title. So the title is here in quotation marks, historical census browser. It is still put here in alphabetical order, right? And then following by Hurt. So we're in the H's, L, and then M. So these are somewhat different depending on if we are citing from or getting information from a book or an internet site. Uh, so there's different structures here, and we probably won't be able to really negotiate or discuss that to any level. Now you can, if you go to the site, you can find the let's see the different sources, how you format them. You can go to electronic sources, periodicals, books. This has a basic format and other common sources. There's even sources if you get someone to orally tell you information, you have to still um, format it in a specific way. But just do your best with that. I know that it might be asking a little bit too much for you to get the correct format for the specific sources that you find. Um, so I think let's see now, where was I? Oh, I got distracted and lost here. There. Let's go back to where we were. Oh, right. I want my PDF here. Where are you? There we are. Okay, so important things for me here. If it's a book, right, I want the title of the book, right? Um, just like that. This one's a long title. and the author, of course, right? There's the author, Baker, Gladys Baker et al. Simply means there's a number of other people that wrote it with her. There's the title of the book right there, Century of Service, colon, um, the the rest of the title is the first 100 years of the United States Department of Agriculture. It's published by the federal government in 1996. This following book, written by Dan Hoff Clarence, it's called Change in Agriculture, the Northern United States, 1820 to 1870. The publishers are Harvard, and it was published in 1969. Internet is a little different. So here's the title of the web page: Historical Census Browser, University of Virginia Library. That's where it came from, and this is the URL right here: www.mapserver.lib.virginia.edu. Okay, this one over here, down here, is another URL, right? So that's an internet page. So there's slightly different. The important thing is to get the title in there, and if there's an author. All right? Wow, we did cover quite a bit, but this was important because it wasn't in the unit and all, and you're asked to write this essay and to have references. So I wanted to go over this for you. Um, if you have any more questions about it all, the important thing is just to get that rough copy in. And if there's anything that doesn't fit or that you're missing, I can point them out to you and help you with them, and so that you can get a perfect mark for your essay. Well, we've covered quite a bit today on writing essays. And tomorrow we will finish off the course and we'll look at the culminating task. And don't worry about it. The culminating task sounds daunting, but it's not that bad, really, compared to, writing this essay, which will take you a while to do that because you have to research and then you do all your rough and things like that. Back and forth with me, looking at it. It's going to take you at least a week. And anyways, we'll take a look at the culminating task tomorrow, and it looks like a lot more fun than the actual writing of this essay. But this essay is worth quite a few marks, right? What do we have? What's the worth here now again? We'll just go back up to, let's see, boom, boom, boom. Oh, it doesn't say there. I think it's, let's see. Gee, it's not even on here. I think it's about 100 marks this essay's worth. But anyways, I'll review this when we talk tomorrow, and I'll have you let you know what the exact final or mark is for this. It's not in the unit. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's not important at this moment, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. Thanks for listening in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our class. We'll be back on air again tomorrow at the same time, as I said, to finish up this term. And if you have any questions, please contact me through Facebook or email, and I'll work with you to help you complete this credit. All right. Bye for now. See you again tomorrow.